Is it on? Welcome to Yucca Valley, where it's sometimes Yucca Valley. It's Friday, early, 7 a.m., hot. Could barely keep my pants on. So we're going to do some yoga with Laura.
All right, it's hot, so we're slowing things down. Yes.
Oh, I just want to say hello to Riga, Latvia. There's Dublin. Oh, I can see Varanasi, India. And if I'm not mistaken, that's Monterey, California. There's Anaheim, and there is Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Thank you. All right, let's start into Tadasana. This is the mountain pose. We are rooting the feet down, softening the knees, and tuning in to the breath. In this really hot weather where we are, maybe it's not so hot where you are, but there's a cooling breath that we can do by rolling your tongue like a taco, and you inhale through the mouth. And then you can exhale through the mouth. This releases more heat. So when you're feeling overheated, this is a nice breathing practice in through the mouth, out through the mouth. So now take a deep breath, and we'll reach the arms up overhead. And then bring the right hand to the left wrist. Clasp the wrist, and let's move over towards the right side. We're finding a nice side body stretch, lengthening the spine and stretching through the side body. The belly is pulling in towards the spine as you lift, and then we'll switch sides, change the clasp, and then stretch. Inhale, come back to center and relax the hands down. Let's roll the shoulders up towards the ears and down the back. Change direction. And relax. We're going to bring the right arm across the body. The left arm comes underneath as you hug that right arm in towards the chest. You should feel a nice stretch through the posterior deltoid of the right arm, shoulder. So the outer right shoulder. Notice if your hands are floppy or they're awake and reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, release, and switch sides. Relax. And then sweep the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. As you exhale, the palms come together, hinge from the hips, and fold all the way forward. Relax the head down, and you can grab onto the legs somewhere, perhaps the thighs or the shins, maybe even the ankles, This is just to give us a little reminder not to pull on the lower back. So we're always engaging Uddiyana Bandha, pulling the abdominals in to protect our lower back. Then you can relax the head down and you'll get that full stretch all the way from the tailbone through the crown of the head. And then feel the breath. We'll inhale and lift halfway up. So we lengthen the spine to make it parallel with the earth. And then we're going to step the right foot back, but stay high on the ball of the back foot. And maintain this medium to low lunge. We're not going to come up. We're just feeling the form of this low lunge. Then using the abdominal muscles, we're going to step back up, forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen the spine. And then we step the left foot back, stay high on the ball of the back foot and just feel the breath in this low lunge. Some might call this also runner's pose. And when you're ready, inhale, step up, forward fold. Bend the knees and we'll sit into our imaginary chair, Utkatasana. The weight shifts into the heels and the toes are light. We'll straighten the legs, come all the way up, maybe to the toes. Then exhale, Tadasana. Again, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale to lift halfway up. As you step the right foot back, stay high on the ball of the back foot. Check the front knee to make sure it is either above the ankle or behind it, so we're not hyperextending the knee. And then inhale as you lift, Anjaneyasana, high lunge. Exhale, the hands come down as you engage Uddiyana Bandha and step forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, lift the chest and the hands. So the quadriceps are engaged here. Palms are facing each other. And then inhale, reach. Maybe come to the toes. Exhale, mountain pose. Feel the breath. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Lift halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. The left foot steps back. Stay high on the ball of the back foot. Inhale when you're ready, and we're in a high lunge, Anjaneyasana. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, but engage all the way through the fingertips so the arms are reaching. Exhale, the hands come down, and we'll step forward. Uttanasana. Utkatasana, chair pose. Come all the way up. And exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Sweep the arms up overhead, reaching the arms. As you exhale, we fold forward. Inhale to lift halfway up. And we'll step both feet back and come into a high plank. Put the knees down, put the tops of the feet down, and inhale to lift the chest. And we're pulling out of the lower back by lifting the rib cage, lifting the heart. And then exhale into either a downward facing dog, or you can take child's pose. When you're ready, we're going to step the right foot forward in between the hands and then come down to the back knee, lower the top of the back foot down, and then inhale the arms up. This is a low lunge. We still call it Anjaneyasana. Exhale the hands down, and we're going to straighten the front leg, Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. The foot of the front leg is extended. Bend into the front knee, and then we're going to bring both hands inside of the front leg. You can make space for the leg by walking it over to the outer edge of the mat. For some folks who may have a little bit more tightness, this is a really good opportunity for stacking blocks if this is too much of a reach for you. If you feel comfortable just keeping the arms extended and the palms flat on the earth, you can hold the pose here and just breathe into this posture. If you're like Alan, who has more flexibility, then you can always come down to the forearms, as he's doing. Whichever variation you're in, feel the breath. Inhale as you slowly come up. And we're going to bring the front foot back to the center. So frame the foot with both hands. We're going to come up off the back knee into our low lunge and then step back into a high plank. Utthita Chaturanga Dandasana. Feel the breath. Check the hips, make sure that they are nice and strong in this line of energy. We're not sagging and they're not lifted. And then go ahead and put the knees down, put the tops of the feet down. Inhale to either upward facing dog or cobra. Then exhale into your downward facing dog or child's pose. Now we're going to step the left foot forward and then lower down to the back knee. The top of the back foot comes down as you inhale to reach, low lunge. Exhale the hands inside the front foot. You might want to walk that foot out to the edge of the mat and then make space as you come into what we call Uttan Prasthasana. This is lizard pose. And sometimes, depending on how your hips feel, but mine particularly, I enjoy just gently swaying back and forth a bit because I find just gentle opening through the psoas and through the side bodies. I'm also just lubricating my spine, and it even gets into the hip socket. Inhale as you slowly come back to center, maybe coming up. And then we're going to straighten the front leg, taking a half split. The arms should be underneath, or the hands rather, should be underneath the shoulders. You don't want them too far out in front, and you don't want them too far back. We want a good foundation, so the hands are just right under the shoulders. See, Alan makes this more of a dynamic pose too. You do have the option to point and then flex the toe. When you point the toe, you may even feel a stretch on the top of the foot. So you're just changing the tension in the hamstrings. You may feel more of a stretch in the back of the leg versus the front of the leg by pointing and flexing the foot. But we're going to bend into the front knee, come off the back knee, and we're going to step into a high plank. Utthita Chaturanga Dandasana. Put the knees down, the tops of the feet come down. As you inhale, Urdhva Mukha or Bhujangasana. And then exhale into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Let's inhale to come down to the hands and the knees. We're going to spread the knees wide and sit back into a child's pose. You walk the hands forward. This is still an active pose, so the arms are outstretched. And you can feel the energy reaching through the fingertips. So now let's get a little movement in. We're going to make gentle transitions as you inhale to lift and come into a cobra pose. So I'm coming up to all fours, and then I lower the hips down, lift the chest. And then as I exhale, I'm going to press back into a child's pose, rounding the back, moving through an inhale as you lift and come into cobra, and then exhaling to child's pose. Continuing this movement for 3 breaths. And then when you're ready, we come back to center, to a tabletop position on the hands and the knees. So set yourself up so the hands are directly underneath the shoulders. Root through the left hand, and we're going to lift the right, open the chest, reach to the sky, and then sweep the right arm underneath the left, lower the shoulder and the ear to the earth. And you can walk the left hand to the top of the mat. Inhale as you unwind and come back to center. We're going to take another stretch through the spine just by taking a downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So press the hips back, press away from the hands, and relax the chin down. On the next exhalation, we come back to the hands and the knees, lowering the knees down. We're going to switch sides. So spread the fingers wide, and we're going to root through the right hand, and this time lift the left arm, open the chest, and as you exhale, sweep the arm underneath, lower down to the shoulder and the ear, and then we extend the right arm to the front of the mat. Inhale to unwind, coming back to center. And then we're going to have a seat. So gently, slowly transition onto the mat. We'll straighten the legs, reaching through the heels. And then lengthen the spine as you inhale, reaching the arm. And then exhale, fold forward. This is Paschimottanasana. Inhale, come on up. Bring the hands behind us. And then lift the chest and point the toes. As you straighten the arms, you can stay here in this variation, or you can take the fuller expression of Purvottanasana and lift the hips. Whichever position you're in, take 3 full breaths. Exhale to lower down. And we'll bend the right knee. Place the foot on the ground. And we'll come into Marichyasana. So the right hand comes behind for support. Lift the left to lengthen the spine. And in the navel, we twist. Come back to center. And then just lower the knee down to the earth. And we'll transition into Janu Sirshasana, inhaling to lengthen the spine, and then exhale as you reach forward. Inhale to come on up. We'll straighten the right leg. And then bend the left knee. Take Marichyasana on the opposite side. Inhale to lift. Exhale to twist. Take a deep inhalation, and as you exhale, we'll unwind, come back to center. And then lower the left knee down to the earth. You may need to readjust your sits bones. Then we'll inhale to lengthen. And exhale, fold forward into Janu Sirshasana. Inhale, come on up. Let's bring both of the feet together. The soles are touching as the knees come apart. And this is cobbler's pose, Baddha Konasana. So we open the soles of the feet like a book and then fold forward. Fold forward to any extent that feels good for you in the back, in the neck, in the hips. And then feel the breath. Inhale as you lift. Come on up. Walk the hands back. Find the limit in your shoulders. And then once you reach that limit, lift the chest. Slowly ease out of the posture. And then we'll grab a blanket or a pillow to sit on and come into Sukhasana, comfortable seated posture. Take a few moments and focus on the breath. One of the important practices in Hatha Yoga is Nadi Shodhana. We practice cleansing the energy channels, the nadis. One of the ways by doing that is through our alternate nostril breathing. Some also know it as Anulom Vilom. So the easiest way for those who may not be familiar with it is to take the index finger and the middle finger to the center of the forehead, the space in between the brows. Then you use your right thumb, close the right nostril, and breathe in and out through the left, taking full breaths. Relax the hand down. And we'll now switch to the opposite side, bringing the index and middle finger of the left hand to the space in between the brows. The left thumb closes the left nostril as you breathe in and out through the right side. Exhale and just sit. We first practiced the Indian Hatha Yoga tradition. Now we will focus more on the Zazen Buddhist tradition of just sitting, allowing the natural breath to open the lungs, but ensuring that that breath is a very deep inhalation. So we're breathing into the belly, all the way down into the abdomen. And then as the thoughts come in, just observe them and let them go. Allow the thoughts to come through, and perhaps on each exhalation, they go out. And with this, I'll close. You are encouraged to continue Shikantaza, this practice of just sitting. Thank you all, and happy Friday.